I said it.
Take 3. Oh.
Take 4. Okay. Do it for the gram. I ain't gonna do it.
Let me fire this thing up real quick.
It's good to drink milk on the show. Here's the riddle. Call me in an hour.
Oh, God. This is going to be fun.
You have to have that completed by the end of the show. Zach.
Mark.
Yeah.
Kind of nervous.
See what this sounds like, though?
Hearing myself talk.
This is my mushroom.
Oh, I know mushroom to go to my head. Entomopathic fungi.
All right, guys. Welcome to the Badcat Show. This is episode number 12.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm sitting in with 2 of my really good friends, and they're both named Zach. This is the second time this has happened on my show, actually.
That's true. We had 2 Wyatts.
Yeah, that was weird.
That was great.
Zach, also known as
Opie
the Juan. So you have a lot on your shoulders and a lot on your plate. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
So
who you working with? What's going on?
Oh, you want to dive right in? We could dive right in.
I mean, I work for Opie One myself.
You have a few LLCs, don't you?
I have LLC with On Point CBD.
Yep.
Which we'll get into later.
Yes, CBD, CBG, CBN, a lot of concentrates.
CBN.
Yeah, also with tinctures and these smoking blends, all pure hemp.
So what are you focusing on now? What's your 9 to 5?
My big thing is mushrooms, and that's what we're going to be focusing on the majority of this, because it's the biggest hitter of my life right now.
Yeah.
Why would you say right now? What drew you into it? Like, what's the importance of it right now?
Going through herbalism school, through college, I realized that there's not just herbs out there and plant life. There's a symbiotic relationship with mushrooms, and the mycorrhizal mushrooms are kind of what help plants rise up, and also trees, helping them communicate with each other in the root system and throughout the mycelium, the huge mycelial network.
You're speaking a lot of French to me.
Yeah. Well, basically, the only thing that I know about mushrooms is as far as I guess they grow on like dead wood or rotting wood.
Yeah, and
there's something that
there's the Agaricus bisporus, which is the button mushroom.
Liberty caps.
Which is that is specifically actually one of the largest mushroom farms in the United States. Is out of Wisconsin, and they grow.
Really? I think I knew about
and
this.
also in the South. I don't remember exactly what state, but
somewhere high
they
altitude.
They grow large quantities of Agaricus bisporus, which is the button mushrooms.
They're super good too.
Yeah, any of the porcinis. It's pretty much what you see in all your Chinese food. When you get any kind of mushroom, usually at the grocery store, it's always the button mushrooms, unless
they
the
specify
West Coast.
too.
Yeah, you go to the West Coast, you start seeing all your lobster mushrooms, all your blue oysters, all your different color mushrooms.
Yum.
Which, if you were on the video, you can see the mushrooms we have in front of us. We have a Pleurotus australis, which is the blue oyster. We have a golden oyster, and then we have a lion's mane, the traditional ball lion's mane that is grown more.
All these are fire too.
Yeah.
So I guess we're gonna hop right into this too. What would you do with this one for a meal versus the other ones? Because
for the lion's mane lately, I've been doing.
Would you cook it in a soup? Can you substitute for like
actually
just
one of my friends
vegan
gave him
foods?
a fat lion's mane ball, and he stuck
that was
it in
me like 2 weeks ago.
He stuck it in someone like a week ago.
It started growing out of my box.
Huge lion's mane, and he stuck it in a cooker with potatoes and some carrots and some onions, and made a roast. And he told his girl they were having a pot roast, and she had no idea it was a mushroom. She actually hates.
She thought it was meat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She hates mushrooms.
That's what
she
I was
pulled
gonna
it apart.
ask
She's
you.
like, she's like, damn. I got pictures of it right here too. It's pretty dope. But yeah, it's very futuristic. You can bypass faux meats and start consuming mushrooms, and it's honestly pretty
Banner's
much.
ready.
I mean, You can do Beyond Burgers and Impossible Burgers, but mushrooms are definitely the future and the way to go with having
So what are the
alternative meats.
Real quick though, what are the ones that are like a piece of steak basically once you cook it right?
Oh, that's the
Morels.
Yeah, those are the portobellos and morels.
Okay.
I think he's thinking about morels.
Yeah.
No.
No?
Yep,
Yeah.
the portobellos
The big,
is what
huge
I'm thinking
portobello. That's
of.
still Agaricus biporus. It's just different. It's just different
Right.
times
They are
throughout
good
its
though.
lifespan.
They're amazing.
So like,
in my opinion,
you'll have the small white button mushrooms. You wait another like 4 days, it turns to a brown cap, and then another 4 or 5 days, it turns into a giant beefsteak portobello mushroom.
Nice.
That
Okay.
sounds
It's pretty
tasty.
crazy.
I didn't know how that works, but I've ate it
sounds
before. It's
fire.
fantastic.
Spawning things a little early. Like for instance, these lion's mane right here pulled a little earlier, and we actually have less teeth.
And
in
these
here.
have a lot of gills
Yeah,
too. So
yeah,
when you say
it's-
pull, like I'm literally thinking of like you can strip
well,
it
that
off.
would be actually. This is
a
a very
lot.
special mushroom. This actually is a fungi that has teeth instead of having gills underneath the cap, leading up to the
Interesting.
stipe. But a lot of mushrooms that people know are the the stem and cap mushroom.
Right.
A lot of creminis.
That makes
brown
sense.
Beaches.
Yeah, these are way
Shiitake.
different. Actually, if you want to, you can throw them each up in the camera as you talk about them or whatever.
Yeah, this is the blue oyster.
That one's my favorite.
Yeah, you can
one's
pretty
my
much stick
favorite.
that right into the lens.
Does really well with mushroom tacos. I'll slice
Yeah,
this up
that's
with,
true.
and pull it
It's
apart with
meaty.
a fork. It kind of acts as like a jackfruit almost.
Oh,
And then this is the
interesting.
golden oyster, which goes really well with soups. It's a little flaky, has a kind of a chestnut flavor to it.
nice.
Very
Yeah,
sweet.
I like that.
What are the properties? Like, why is this one healthy for me versus like maybe
Well,
this one? Like
That's the interesting thing is so
And what is like the most popular like mushroom right now for
most
a
popular
supplement?
mushroom
Yeah.
would be essentially reishis. Reishis are one of the most popular throughout all traditional Chinese medicine, and also Cordyceps militaris, which is actually starting to take over in the
Slow it down.
the United
What's it
States.
called? Cordyceps.
Cordyceps and militaris, which
That's the
is
genus
a-
name. I'm
yeah,
guessing.
it's a mushroom that gives you like superhuman powers, man.
Dang.
I tip it every single morning.
He
and
shoves it down my
dinner.
throat when we work out.
And we're just like,
And I don't regret it.
literally, you can like,
I literally
I
don't.
mean, what it does to ants is make them, mummifies them. I mean, it doesn't do that to me, but it literally gives me more energy, helps retain information, really, really good for immune system. Helps with hair growth, nail growth, boosts your sex drive, and when you're not fucking, you're definitely at the gym or should be.
Hey,
Should be
Because-
fucking or should be at the gym?
Both,
Yeah.
all the above at the same time.
same time, right? Yeah.
Okay, let me go back to the properties though. So talk to me. Give me your breakdown on each one of those.
So, the cool thing about blue oysters is actually one of the only living organisms in the forest floor that actually produces its own vitamin D, which is very, very, very crazy. And you could actually give it more vitamin D when you lay it face up towards the sun. So it actually will suck up nutrients from the sun.
That's pretty
before
cool.
you consume.
Nice.
Golden oysters, not so much, but still has a lot of vitamin D in it. But the nutrient property to all of this is all protein. Heavy protein, high vitamin E, A, lots of B12, obviously, like I was saying. The lion's mane's really, really good for the brain.
This is a famous one.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
really, really
They're
good
all
for the
pretty-
brain.
They're all really cool looking.
Helps kind of stabilize your
Yeah,
mood.
I love that. hmm
Kind of-
Really?
Well,
a
it's,
mood
it's funny how
Oh,
people
yeah.
get detoured from
100%.
eating mushrooms, but then if you cook them properly, you
Yeah,
wouldn't
like you
even
said,
know.
people
Because
don't
we're,
even know.
Because we're all
It's-
we're all like microphobia. I mean, microphobia is a huge thing in the United States. Like,
So
Right.
what's an
microphobia
example
is-
of microphobias? Like
Microphobia
let's show me,
is
like tell me.
Everybody is afraid of mold. Everybody's afraid of mushrooms. When there's a
Exactly.
mushroom growing in your house, you're like, oh my gosh, something is decaying. Yes, mushrooms are decayers. You know, they break things down that have toxins in there, and then they start to grow off of that. Which, I mean, they like, for instance, yeast or cheese. All of these
Yeah,
things are
that's true.
mushrooms, but
Yeah,
a lot
but
of people
blue
don't
cheese.
realize
yeast isn't bread.
mushrooms
It's like-
are literally
Duh.
all over everything. I mean, our
Mhm.
skin is a mushroom. We're one
So-
giant Ganoderma.
Where would like? Can I find these in my local woods, or where? If I wanted to, like, if I had an infatuation with mushrooms, you know,
Okay,
and, like,
I got one for you. The
wanted-
morels, they've grown in the front of my house in the dirt because
Yeah.
we don't have a cement slab
I
there
know
yet.
where we're going to
And
make.
Everything-
it's very moist down there. The way that
They
the
grow
hill
in weird
rolls.
spots.
Our house, like our yard, is kind of wet all the time.
They like
so they grow right.
So if you
out-
know what
right out the
morels
front
are,
door.
they're like
It's crazy.
spongy. They have a bunch of holes in it. They're usually like brown. They
Yeah.
pop up around.
Yeah,
there.
they
They're a
kind of
mycorrhizal
shaped
mushroom.
like a triangle almost.
What lives
Yeah.
Yeah.
symbiotically
Like a
with
mushroom.
root systems, and it typically grows around sometimes oak trees. In Minnesota, in the Midwest regions around Iowa, Wisconsin, Michigan, Minnesota, they typically grow around elms and cottonwoods. You'll find them.
What's an elm?
Elm tree
like
is-
I know,
is
but
shaped like a
what does it
witch
look like?
broom.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
it's-
like
and
leaves
it's-
look like I think they have the 5.
Yeah, it's very
Leaf.
well, that's oak, but you can find them around oaks as well too, especially if you go up north.
They're really random though.
If you go to Madeline Island, they actually have one of the most unique
No one's
morels
going
over
to
there.
Madeline
The albino morel. It's the only place to be growing that's been
That's
known
crazy.
to be seen.
What's the biggest mushroom you found?
Oh, Boletus edulis, which is a porcini essentially. It's it
How
has
big?
articulated stem, and it's
But it was fresh
stood
though, so
over a little over 12 inches.
how many pounds would it weigh in at?
It was 4.5 pounds. It was huge.
That's pretty.
It was literally.
What does it look like?
It was
Hold it up.
holding up.
What's it
It
called?
was actually
Well,
very.
don't-
It was right next to a bunch
what?
of rustiolas.
Politas?
Boletus with a B.
A Boletus edulis, which is the porcini. If you look that up.
The porcini.
Yeah, this is actually one of the only mushrooms in the woods where you can consume this. There's very low chitin in there, so you can consume this like straight up
Let me see.
raw. It's the only mushroom you eat
That
raw.
looks hella tasty.
It's super bomb. It's,
Did you
they're-
sell
they're
it?
Known as a
You probably ate it, huh?
Delicacy. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We were camping out. It was October. We actually had some snowfall in the morning, and we actually had that with hen of the woods. We had some hedgehog mushrooms, which is another guild, or not guild mushrooms. It's another mushroom that has kind of like
There you go.
like
fungus.
yeah,
Super
like
cute little
like
chodies.
gills coming down, or not gills, but
I'll say it. Yeah.
the waterfall coming down.
It's like a fucking chode.
And then we also had some chanterelles with that, which is
Ooh.
another,
Those
I've
are
had
hard to
those.
find.
yeah, those
Those
are
are hard to find.
Those are
They
good.
smell like apricots.
Really?
Yeah, they're very heavy
Dude,
apricots.
man,
smell.
we can do so many hours on this. There's
The-
so
the
many
yellow
things to
chanterelles.
talk about.
Oh,
Dude,
it's
you could
endless.
sit
When it
there
comes to
and just
mushroom
define-
identification, though, like
Yeah.
one thing that I remember you taught me, like he does classes too, so we'll drop like all the links in the descriptions and stuff.
Yeah, that's
because
actually gonna be a new LLC
it's-
starting this April.
yeah, and it's actually a thing people actually do it, and like he actually takes you to hidden spots, which I know it takes a lot for you to do.
Yeah.
Like he turns the snap map off, like I don't know where he is.
I'm like,
I'm
But there's
out.
a lot to it though.
Got
Like you
stuff
know,
to do.
like I said, one of the things I remember you taught me with mushroom identification, and when it comes to not hen of the woods, but it was pheasant tail.
yeah.
It smells like watermelon, and it does.
Pheasant back. Yeah, that smells like a honeydew melon.
It literally smells
Makes
like watermelon.
amazing
and
jerky.
it tastes really good
Yeah,
too.
really good jerky.
And we're coming up on the season 2, so
Yep.
that's cool.
Yep.
So about your classes, where would you? Oh, we can't talk about where you're gonna go, mushroom. Farm.
It'd be typically around
can we
Hennepin
release some
County.
secrets?
Um,
Yeah, Hennepin County. That.
It'll be around.
Thanks for that.
Anoka area. I mean, we go even to all the way to Lake Minnetonka area.
It's like
I mean, 'cause
pulling fucking teeth.
a lot of it's kind of funny because a lot of people in like Wayzata, Minnetonka area, a lot of people do spend most of their time on the lake. They're not in the woods much.
No, they go to wherever
it's-
co-op to
So
buy their
I
stuff.
can go walk in the woods and I don't see barely anybody out there. So last year when I was teaching a bunch of classes around around the Minnetonka area,
backyards.
specifically I'll share a spot, but specifically on the northern side of Lake Minnetonka, there's a whole bunch of wildlife refuges over there, and they're all state
Are
parks.
you gonna get in trouble?
No, because it's not Three River.
Can
Park
you
District.
get in trouble?
Three River Park District will fine you, and they'll take all your mushrooms away and fine you. And you know it's
Wow. Take
not
my
cool.
mushrooms.
It seems kind of
I mean-
odd though. Like, why?
it's
Well,
it's
they want to preserve the
park systems.
wildlife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause
Well,
they
they
want
work
everybody to
really
see it.
hard for that. So
Think about hunting though. You can only take so many each
exactly it's
season
the same
or
thing.
whatever. Why don't, yeah.
Which
why-
is
But
a
it's
really-
more of a
it's
it's
an
more of a
important
grounding
thing.
thing though. It's not just with game though. Actually, like it's an ecosystem thing.
for sure. Okay.
Because not
You know,
everybody
it
knows
really impacts the
when they go
wildlife.
out. Like my steps when I teach a class is, you know, everybody has waterproof stuff with them. Everybody has water with them. We have a couple White Claws because they're They're hydrating.
For the last 5 minutes, I was trying to
And-
figure out what was floating in this.
Yeah.
I thought it was the foam, and I was like, why isn't this breaking down?
And then I tell everybody to pretty much
Look,
like
it looks like
make
foam.
sure you have
No,
a
no,
fully
yeah.
charged phone,
The fuck?
just in case if there's any emergencies.
Should I eat it?
Yeah, it's a
Um,
mushroom. Just eat it.
What were you saying?
I was asking why it was illegal.
Yeah.
And,
I mean,
and the
I
thing
know.
is, a lot of foragers will go out there, and when they see something, they just seriously, like for a big example is ramps. People will go out and harvest ramps, and they'll literally rip out an entire field of ramps. And ramps will never grow for about 7 years because it takes a long time for them to fully mature.
Sure.
Tastes
And
like
they'll
chewing on a
literally
bed.
take all of this
Like a
out,
mattress.
and then people won't find ramps there again.
Yeah.
So some people are notorious for over harvesting and taking advantage of the land, and it just
You're just mad because they're taking your spots.
well, it's just the fact of it's not. I'm not just consuming it. This is also
I know.
this is for the deer. This is for animals around.
Right.
You know, it's food not just for us.
And there's a lot of it. You know, they know
Well,
where the
yeah.
spots are. You know, there
They
is.
have the nose. You gotta follow if you want to find good morale spots. You gotta follow the deer through the woods and look for
He
deer
is
tracks.
literally like a
Right.
deer in the woods.
No,
when I
it's-
go
and then
hunting
I
with
just-
him,
I'm
he,
like, there's a deer trail right there. Let's
I'm
go
not
chase
even
that.
kidding.
You
He
know.
puts his head to the ground and he like speaks to the
Oh, yeah.
fucking what he's like,
that's great.
You
I
have to
speak
speak to the mushroom, dude.
So, speaking of selling, like, where are you selling besides?
We
well,
sell
yeah, where are you selling?
we have like 20 different farmers markets throughout during farmers market season when it's
Sell
warm out. But other than that, we are at Seward Co-op, Linden Hills, the Wedge, which they actually just conjoined together,
That's a big move.
That's-
which is
that's
huge.
just
love the
recently
Wedge.
crazy.
That's awesome.
I don't know if it's a good or a bad thing them coming together. I don't know if someone got bought out or not, but
Yeah.
Either way, they're
and
getting supplied to that
all Lunds and
community.
Barleys. We're at Kingfield, all of the locations.
Yeah, Byerly's pretty big too. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
we-
huge. They're
we're
more of a
packaging-
fancy.
We're packaging thousands and
All the
thousands of
Beckys go there,
pounds
bro.
a
It's
week.
perfect.
It used to be a couple hundred pounds a week. Now it's like we just hired like 15 some people to
So
do
you're
just
the
packaging.
backbone of
Yeah,
R&R
it's-
cultivation. When you see R&R,
Well, it's
Right.
Lance and Nick when you see R&R, but I definitely
looking
help
at
with
you,
the
though.
harvesting, and I help with
I'm looking at you though.
I help with a lot of the shenanigans in there. There's a lot of farm work. There's a lot of gears to run a watch, and if you think of
You're the
R&R
poop scooper.
if you think of R&R as a watch, it's just that you have to have a lot of bells and whistles, a lot of
True.
shiny
Yeah,
toys
yeah.
and trinkets.
There's
to
a
make
ton of
things
different
work.
things that go into it.
It's hard, you know. A lot of people are like, "I'm just gonna start a mushroom farm. We're gonna make a bunch of fucking money."
Yeah.
You will make money if you
But
do it right, but you have to
correctly,
have
yeah.
a market and a system
Well,
to sell your product.
Let's talk about your licenses that you got for yourself, because like you are actually licensed to do these classes and like go on these hunts with people, like they feel comfortable. Like you went to school for this shit, like because there's a lot of false mushrooms. I think you told me every real edible mushroom, there's a false version of it that will get you sick.
Some, yes. Not so much with, well, there's a couple of different oyster strains that look
Lobsters,
like
for
oysters,
sure.
but lobsters are, that's another parasitic fungi. That's parasitized by the rustiola, which is really hard to find a lookalike for that because it's like essentially like a hard shell, like a claw coming out of the ground. It's pretty
gnarly.
it's pretty metal.
Yeah,
You
don't-
can't miss it though either.
No,
which
Yeah,
is
don't
cool.
eat that.
So good.
Yeah.
You just deep fry that. In
Oh, no, it's
panko,
good, but there's
throw
a
it in the air
false
fryer. It
version
tastes
of
like
it.
chicken nuggets, man, from McDonald's.
Dang.
Hardcore. It's so
Wow.
It is really good.
Maybe that's what they're doing.
But the licenses I have are
Yeah.
for. I have about 13 different strains. Off the top of my head, I cannot remember. And I am licensed for all 50 states in the United States of America to be able to take people out and do harvesting with these fungi. My license also grants me, if I own or have somewhat ownership of a land, I can sell mushrooms from that land I own or have.
It can't be like city property.
No, it
You can't-
needs to be
obviously.
a controlled land that I own. for
And
me
shout
to
out
sell.
to your partners that
Yeah,
take
it's-
care of that
yeah,
situation.
no, it's
so you
exactly
Basically a
can
farm.
sell on those.
Yeah, and
Kind
I
of.
mean, the thing is, like, I mean, you could just even have
Or
like
farmers
6
markets,
acres
though,
in the
too.
back, and
He's there.
like my homie Landon has a very fat property in land. I was gonna be hitting him up this summer in Austin, and I mean, I'm gonna be like, yo, dude, you got a bunch of woods back in your back 40, you know.
Yeah, didn't you just come back from Atlanta?
I came back from Atlanta not too long ago, but I was talking Austin, Minnesota.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, for sure.
I was
Big difference.
Atlanta and Florida. We were doing a little.
Yeah, you You have to
picking out
bounce it
there. It was
around.
fun.
Yeah, you were saying that earlier.
There's a
It's
bunch
awesome.
of fun mushrooms popping up in Florida.
I
right now.
bet that's scary.
It's a blast. It's kind of it's a little intimidating. There's a lot of poisonous shit out there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Lizards that'll fucking lick your eyeball. Lick your
That sounds
eyeballs.
tight.
Pee in a river. Things.
Please don't.
Just
So let's do a little 360 now. We're about to talk about a whole different business that you do. CBD, CBG.
yeah. Yeah. So
you're licensed. You're legal.
I
Your
have
sh's
my
tested.
processor's
Got the
license.
paperwork?
Tight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got paperwork.
I got an LLC. and
We're at
it's-
tobacco shops. Talk to me.
It's really easy to actually get yourself in the CBD game. It's just, again, you can have a bunch of CBD, but who are you gonna sell it to? You need a market. You can't
Tobacco
just-
shops. What's up with that?
Yeah,
Is
but
it that hard?
You need to have a name. You need to have a certain product.
You have to have a good
Let me
your
see-
stuff
let me
needs to
see
not
what
look
you got.
Brown. Your stuff gotta look real nice and
Yeah.
frosty.
And it does though. This is different though because I've gotten CBD from my I'm in Dinky Town, and that's a pretty popular spot. Every time I look at their CBD, they always have seeds, and I know it looks like trash, and it's
Yeah,
probably
this shit
not
doesn't
locally
have seeds.
sourced.
This is from I can't say the name, but this is from my homies from the U.
Do you have a jar like an actual jar
And
with your logo and shit on it?
he,
This isn't gonna do it for you.
yeah,
Y'all
this
gotta
is
go
the
out and buy
CBD
it.
jar from On Point, which I believe Mark was doing a giveaway, a half-ounce giveaway.
What do you mean you believe? I did one.
You did one?
Yeah,
Okay,
I did
okay.
one.
Yep.
They just haven't replied to come grab it. So I smoked it.
Damn.
You'll
I
get
mean,
another
it's-
one
it's
though.
good.
Yeah, you'll
It's
get
real
another
good.
one.
Yeah,
just
if they ever
slide
hit
my
you up.
DMs. Yeah, otherwise.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, it's
Otherwise,
sitting right
How do
here.
you
Where-
how do you not come for what you just won?
Where can I
That's what bothers me.
I mean, shit.
You can find my product. You all know Clown Glass. Clown Glass carries my product.
Where's that?
Clown Glass in Uptown, right in front of the Wedge. So while you're at the Wedge, you might as
There
well
you
hit
go.
those open bin
Bam.
boxes and get some mushrooms from us.
Look at that.
You know, bang boom.
Go ahead now.
Both actually boost your immune system and help fight off COVID.
Okay.
What made you want to do this?
CBD prices are way too expensive. We all know that.
So what does this go for?
Companies- I mean, typically at a store, CBD is sold for about $40 for a quarter, which is way expensive.
Whoa.
How much do the shops tax you, do you think?
Well, they have to.
Could we
mark
talk about
up.
that?
They
Is that
have
okay?
to mark up a lot because they have to pay their employees. They have to pay for their rent.
But you
It's-
making
yeah,
money
it's
though,
all
right?
the
I mean, you're in
overhead.
the business, so I know I know you're doing all right.
I definitely mark up because I do all my packaging. I have to pay for my labels.
Mm-hmm.
I buy all my labels from Rap City off of at Hopkins because I want to support a local business.
So it's all local.
The
And-
CBD is local. The jars are
Nice.
from Amazon. I don't know what the fuck those come from.
Well,
but-
see, I like them though.
Whatever though. They're
Shout out
cool.
to Jeff Bezos.
Yeah.
I like this though because there's glass though. Every time I buy CBD is
always in
plastic, and
plastic.
it makes me feel a type of way.
I'm trying to leave
'Cause I
less
buy
of
a
a
lot.
carbon
Yeah,
footprint.
I like the glass jars.
And plus,
all
it
day,
preserves
too.
the product more. You know, it's
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's
plastic
sealed.
is.
Like,
I don't want people to take my jar afterwards and put it through the dishwasher and put it in their in their cupboard.
'Cause I'm
and,
keeping
and
mine.
You reuse their jars.
right.
you know?
That's
Yeah.
butter dish. I
If
don't
they
know.
ever want to buy CBD from me and then share some of their CBD with family members, they got a something to hold it in instead of putting it in a plastic bag and making it go right into the landfills / in the ocean or wherever the heck our trash goes.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Dug a
Shout out to
hole.
Jeff Bezos, you asshole.
Which another thing is actually I'm trying to write a paper so I can potentially become a certified mycologist and potentially hopefully get my doctorate in this. So I'm trying to think
Oh, wow.
about working with mushrooms that break down trash in landfills because it is a big thing and it has been a big thing in the West Coast.
That'd be cool.
And
How
it's
so?
really
Yeah.
easy because even
Does
the
it, like,
the
latch
blue,
on to
the
plastic
blue
and it breaks
oyster
down or
strain
something?
will literally eat
Yeah,
plastic.
they eat it.
It'll use it as a substrate.
Have you heard of
crazy.
this? You're in the
It's
West Coast.
insane.
You've heard of it?
It's so crazy, and this is this could be a multi-billion-dollar
tight.
industry. We don't need to have
Right.
to dig holes and mess up our water
Just have fungus,
systems.
they'll just eat it up.
We can just feed it mushrooms or feed.
But
the
how does that
trash
affect the
mushrooms.
animals that want to like?
The mushrooms literally eat up the landfill, and then the mushrooms are there for us to eat. It doesn't. I mean, they're not going to be toxic because they're
As
honestly-
weird as that sounds, it's just the way it goes.
Yeah, it's. I mean, honestly,
got
I probably
questions.
wouldn't eat the oysters from the landfill, but it's not.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know.
But
thing we
animals
have
and
But it would be
I mean,
over
it's-
time.
it's a
though.
work in
Technically
progress.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it would
I
be
mean,
over
it's-
time.
I mean, people eat
I want my
mushrooms
cow
out
to
of-
eat grass.
I mean,
don't wanna
people who
eat plastic
consume a lot
bottles.
of mushroom foragers that love morels will typically go to apple orchards.
Mhm.
Apple orchards are the best place to find morels, specifically because there's a certain chemical in the ground. But the thing is, mind you, there is also arsenic in these apple seeds. So when you're consuming
That's
these
true.
morels from apple orchards, you're
Ooh.
consuming.
But I got them out of like
very,
wood chips that I know
very
are
large
sprayed with shit
quantities.
though too.
Yeah, that's why
They
that's
still
that's
taste
why
good. I don't
if
know.
you do sell wild foraged mushrooms, you need to get it from a land you know or have the back history of. That's specifically why
Right.
Food and Drug need that to happen, because you can get people sick if they eat it from wrong places. Obviously,
Everyone's
but-
different too. Like
Well, what
have
ab-
different
What about
tones.
testing? You know, what about testing? Is there
Oh.
any way to test
Yeah,
this?
I mean,
is there
the thing
some
is,
sort
though,
of theory?
There's not much money to be made with big companies yet with mushrooms because it's. I mean, it's
They just grow on
it's
everything.
Healing.
That's
It's
hard,
no one
though.
wants. I mean, the big pharma doesn't want people to be healed. They want people to be sick to keep buying their drugs and buy their pills
It's true.
instead of
True.
like.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been very safe with COVID, but I have run into a lot of people and doing like mushroom deliveries and CBD deliveries. So I'm not 100% staying at home. I have been working since April, nonstop, teaching classes, trying to be as COVID safe as possible.
Yeah,
but
wear
it's
your mask.
so hard, but I feel like one of the reasons why I have not got sick is because I smoke so much CBD. I take so much of it in my coffee, and then I eat oysters probably twice a day and lion's mane like.
Cordyceps.
Yeah.
I mean, and I eat cordyceps and lots of reishi,
Yeah.
lots of lion's mane
There
tincture.
are things that you can do to not get
Yeah.
sick on the normal.
It's
you know,
and you just got to
crazy.
keep your body healthy. Go to the gym, even if it's like just doing some stuff in your living room. That is your gym now. Like,
right. Yep.
it's,
You got to be doing something.
Yeah,
I did
it's-
that workout a few
keep
times.
keep a healthy mind, healthy body, and
Mm-hmm.
makes your relationships more happy.
You
and
literally
healthy
are
with
what you eat.
everyone. Exactly.
Oh yeah,
Literally.
totally. Yeah, I.
And I want some Chinese food.
Yeah. I'm about to order some Thai right now.
Let me bring it back to the ganja situation.
Hemp.
What's the difference?
It's very, very
Ganja, bro.
Very,
I don't know.
very different.
Just a
Hemp,
white person saying
ganja
it,
is
so I don't know.
illegal in a lot of states still.
When I
Right.
say ganja, I
But-
mean like the plant
I know, but if
itself.
I-
Yeah.
but if-
I'm not
okay,
talking
so
about like.
when I go into a store to
You know
go
what I'm
present
saying?
my hemp, my CBD hemp to someone or my CBG hemp to someone,
Yeah.
I can't be like, hey, you guys want to buy a bag of weed? It doesn't work that way. People literally are.
No.
You
like,
probably make some money.
they're like, no, like
You probably sell some.
Okay, big example.
Yeah,
They mad
like
make
on this show,
disappointed
we don't
me.
smoke
Definitely-
weed on here. We smoke
Definitely
CBD all the time.
support Green Machine, but I went into Green Machine, tried to sell them some of my hemp by saying, hey, I'm selling CBD weed. They were just like, blank, blank.
Yeah.
I don't feel comfortable with the business with you. You need to leave my room or my shop right now.
Yeah,
I was like,
you're like, get out. Yep.
I tried to come back a month later, and they said the same thing. They're like, get out of here. On Point's not welcome. I'm like,
You need a business plan. You
Damn,
got something
I'm
that's gonna
sorry.
sell though.
Yeah.
but
Well,
my lawyer told me saying the weed name is definitely a
you
bad
can't do
name
that.
to
It
say
is
that.
what it
I'm
is.
not a
That
medical
doesn't work.
dispensary. I sell hemp. Period.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very, very low THC. But the reason I got onto that is
Is there a
'cause
market for it? Is it cutthroat? Do you have
Oh,
to
yeah,
worry
it's-
about
I mean, there's
other,
a lot
like,
of money in it,
competitors or what?
some of these stores are making way too much, and their profit ranges are so high.
So
I'm
you try
trying
and knock
to.
that in half. And
I'm
put
trying
some
to,
good
I'm
product
just trying to just mess up the whole system, and
Oh,
I don't.
yeah,
people
let's
don't need
do
to
it.
spend
Yeah.
$150.
Do it your own way.
Because
Yep.
1,500 milligrams is essentially about maybe 2 grams of concentrate CBD or CBG or CBN, and people will sell those for anywhere from $150 to $200 a bottle.
Ooh.
Which I'm just like, damn.
Are you?
MCT oil, which costs $30 for 62 ounces, otherwise, and then you do a mason or like a jar and then a label. Like everything costs me $15 to make, so I don't need to be making an extra $100 profit after every single bottle. That's rude. It's very
Especially when you have
rude.
like 3
Right.
other
Like
LLCs you
you
gotta worry
need
about.
to support our
That's good.
local, our local people in the area. We got to make sure everybody's safe, healthy. So
So-
giving people a cheaper way And that's what On Point's about, is a cheaper way. It's still a really good product, good clean medicine, but I'm not really into making the profits that some of these big businesses are trying to do.
Are we allowed to talk about your source?
My source? I can't say names.
So how did it happen? Yeah, I'm not talking about the relationship.
Yeah.
I want to like talk about the legality of it. How did it get approved?
So in April of 2020, I'd say a couple months before that actually, my girlfriend is working for Discover CBD out of Golden Valley. Great place. They have 2 locations, Bloomington and Golden Valley. They're awesome store.
Very nice.
Friendly.
Like that.
But all of the prices at all these places, I mean, they need to pay their rent. Stuff's expensive. I understand. I'm not paying a rent for any places other than my facility that I do all my processing at, which is we just throw a couple things underneath the table. It's fine. But rent at these places are expensive.
What does that even mean?
I just I'll leave some free CBD products.
Okay.
I don't have to pay $1,300 for a place, a storefront. Like some of these other places do. So they have to raise the prices. But
Right.
I mean, these prices were so expensive. I mean, an ounce of CBG bud. I mean, $200 for 28 grams. I'm just like,
Talk to me about the license though.
got me messed up.
What was your process?
Through Minnesota, all you have to do is contact literally the state, Parks and Rec, or not Parks and Rec, but DNR state, and they literally
Same
or
thing.
FDA. I mean, sorry, and they literally can give you a certification stamp for $150 for your processor's license, and that's for me to be able to mason jar this
Without
up.
testing. Who tested?
I send all my tests out to Colorado Springs, Good Chems, and then sometimes
I've heard about them.
to Edina. Sometimes.
So you need to do all that
UVM.
before you get stamped, obviously.
You have to.
And they're
Every
gonna see
single
some
thing
paperwork.
has to have, for instance, if you look at my barcode right here, it brings you right to a QR code through my OneDrive, and it shows you all of my CBG levels.
Oh,
This
nice.
one is a pure CBD, and it is at 0.27% THC, 12.5% CBD, 13.29 total cannabinoids, and
Was it hard to get?
no, it only costs $150 per testing. It's very cheap.
Per pound?
I typically send send in an eighth, and they test 1 gram.
Is it generally the same strain?
Yeah, I mean, you can send in different accounts and QR codes.
I mean, it seems
you
like the
only
same
need-
strain. So
You
it's
only
good.
need so much to test.
It's just
Like,
every
of course,
hemp plant has a certain.
It's a big machine. I've seen
Yeah,
the
I mean,
thing. You can buy one
It's
too.
simple. I mean, it's
'cause
really
dispensaries want that
You just
shit.
need to make sure
No
you
cap.
have a second or third party tester. I typically go through different 2 places because if I were to have one of my hemp products flagged at a pipe shop or tobacco store, I don't want to have to be talking to some dude in a trench coat being like, your shit's too hot, and then get sued or fined.
Well, there's shit that just looks like some indoor ass.
One of my growers
and
actually-
CBD, and I'm like,
He got pulled
Right,
over.
still
He got pulled
no.
over in Stillwater, and they forfeited 25 packs of the CBG from him.
that's where he's from.
Yeah.
And he literally sat in jail for 7 days. They were just like, I don't want to hear it.
Yep.
It's like,
Yeah,
we
it's
tested.
crazy.
They're like, we don't have the technology to do this right now. And they actually still have not gave him all of his stuff yet. It's been like a year and a half.
Wow.
It's like literally like
That's how they roll.
it's literally.
Yeah.
I mean, each one of those packs
Grab and
run
go.
anywhere from $500 to $1,200 a pound.
God
You
damn
know,
it.
it's.
So do you do gummies yet? You've got pre-rolls. I already know that.
We did
What's
jump
up?
into gummies.
I
and
like
hard
the
candies.
pre-rolls. Those are nice.
The pre-rolls are those are a whole different. That machine was really expensive. But
Oh yeah.
You
not
smoke
just
like that anyway, so you needed it.
cutting all the hemp up and not doing it with the actual hand grinders. You know, mess your hands up.
Yeah,
There's a lot of
you're not supposed to
processes.
lick something that you're gonna give
Yeah,
to a
and then with
dispensary and
COVID, I
sell,
need to have
which I've
everything in
seen
cones.
at dispensaries in
Yeah,
California. I'm
you
like,
need-
I don't want this.
Yeah, I
Some fucking hippie chick just twist. I don't know. She might have got like 5 different OnlyFans and shit. I'm not smoking this.
Gross.
That's real shit though.
Get off me, bitch.
it's I mean it's a lot of steps to make your process legit, but once everything's finished, it's rewarding.
Yeah.
Of course.
Everything is, I mean, if it was easy, everybody would be doing it.
Right.
That's all I'm just saying.
That's how it is
Yeah,
with
but-
owning your business. Though
Yeah, I
it
was
is
gonna
that
say, you
easy.
go
but no,
hard
it's
in the
simple.
business,
You just
so.
need to make a market and make someone to buy your products. And once you have that lined up, there's nothing stopping you. Just go on up.
Yeah. Well, like we always say, the sky's the limit or further. I mean, you can just do whatever as long as you put your mind to it. If you make it happen,
Yeah,
there
this
you
is
go.
what we're smoking on right now is the T2 strain with the lemon cough. It's
Nice.
It's pretty nice. It's very clean, very aromatic. There's no seeds in this product. Well, maybe 2 seeds per couple pounds, but
Bring it back, you'll get a full refund.
yeah.
Is it?
Well, actually, if you bring back the seed and
There is
that
a refund
jar,
policy.
I will definitely give you a full refund because honestly,
Well, there has to be, yeah. If you're a real business.
that's the worst thing ever.
He doesn't have to.
You're trying
No,
to
he
roll
don't have
something
to.
up later on, and you're smoking through seeds. I mean, I bought some CBD products from, I'm not going to say names, but a handful of other places,
Say your name.
and I can't.
Let's get dirty.
No, we're trying to support our local businesses, not
Yeah.
shut anybody down.
Yeah. Well,
Unless
the
they're
product's
Amazon,
better
fuck them,
either
but-
way. If it's better and cheaper,
But,
why
I mean,
not?
I've definitely broke down some of the stuff, and I bought like single 3 grams, and there's like 20 seeds in there. And I'm like, you
Wow.
weigh it out, you weigh
That's
out the
bad,
seeds, and it's like
yeah.
a half gram of seeds.
Mhm.
And all this, I mean, I could probably
It
use your
weighs
seeds,
out.
but they're probably
Yeah.
not even feminized.
Yeah.
So it's. I'm not the grower. I'm more of a salesman. I do more processing.
You are.
I do like the idea of growing, but that's way too many man hours.
Yeah.
Hello.
Way too many
Yep.
man hours. Just at the mushroom farm alone, I
Yeah.
mean, are the 2 guys that are above me who officially own the business. These guys work from like 4 a.m. till 6 p.m. Monday through Sunday. Like they're literally.
Is that something you want to do? You want to be a doctor, though.
I
you
would
want
like to do that, but
doctorate?
Yeah.
I'd prefer. I'm trying to get my doctorate so I can actually be like a licensed
It's going to take a minute.
doctorate in mycology. That'd be so awesome.
You got like, what, 4, 6
I mean, there's
years?
not much schooling in it. So why not write a thesis, send it to like Oxford College or somewhere out, send it out
Right.
west, and be like, yo, actually, this is a pretty dope thesis on.
Yep. Take it
know,
to Stanford, dude. I'll hook you up.
Yeah, send it somewhere, and then maybe someone will just bite. I don't need. There's not enough classes in this. It's,
Yep.
If there was 5 places you can name off like the top of your head, like where your CBD is sold, like do you know of them?
Clown Glass.
Yeah, you
Northeast
mentioned that.
Tobacco.
You mentioned that, and then
Mhm.
we kind of stopped there.
There's one tobacco store on Lake Street that got burnt down, which those guys say all their stuff burnt up, and I was like, "Where's my insurance money?" But
Dang.
Wow.
that's pretty much it right now. That's it right now.
Damn
'cause
it.
I
That
mean,
shit got looted. I'm gonna tell you that. Bro.
no, it's
Yeah.
terrible. Well, actually,
They're like,
the building
"Weed?
did burn
Oh,
down.
shit."
Like they
God.
like lit some of the
I
stuff
believe
up,
it,
but
I
I
believe it.
I don't know if it was.
Best
from
believe
the
they went in
rioting.
there
You never
before
know.
it burned down, though. I'm gonna tell you that right
Yeah, I mean not to the ground, but a lot of their stuff was
Well, right.
looted and burnt up.
now.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, what did you expect at that time?
yeah, and I mean I have.
But still, it's a shirt,
There's another
Sure,
place in
yeah.
Columbia Heights. There's Workhorse, Smoke Shop, Vape Shop, out of Brooklyn Center. But other than that, I just pretty much meet up with friends and
Yeah.
produce
Yeah.
my medicine.
Well, I mean,
Well, your
that's
network's
a good.
huge.
I mean, that's
It's-
the top of your head,
yeah.
though, so it's
It's
not bad.
way better than them going to a storefront and spending.
Do you do
the-
gummies too?
the
I
top
think I asked you,
price.
didn't?
No, we want to get into
I know
it,
you
but
can.
My girlfriend works full time. She's going through a business degree. I have all these projects. I mean, it's hard
Yeah,
to sit
it is
inside
hard.
the kitchen
Right.
and fully sterilize everything.
Do you think that's what you're gonna need for your company to expand?
I would like to start doing gummies, but no, I feel like
The flowers is
doing
where it's
just
at
the
right
flowers and concentrates and the dabbing
Sure.
form
now. Right.
of hemp would be. I mean, CBD and CBG would be good enough.
Right. Yeah, but a lot of people do like
concentrates
the
are
gummies,
nice.
though.
Especially
I'm
if
not
you have a
gonna-
really
not gonna
nice
lie.
The older
terpene, like
Mhm.
nice terpene
Who can't smoke.
flavor in your CBD. It's like
Mm-hmm.
it's super, super, super clean tasting. I mean, I got this boy to throw up after one of the dabs once. I gave you that fat glob, and you're like, oh man.
I was toast.
You're like laying on the couch.
was
You're like, man,
toast.
I just
this
died.
can't be really CBD, is it? And I was like, dude, this is
Felt like I was
100%
dying.
zero THC, like absolutely zero
Call the
THC, all CBD.
Do you feel like Delta
Laid out.
9's a threat right now, or 8? Excuse me, it's 8, right?
No,
Do you think that's a threat
no,
right now
it's
to
just
your
a whole
business?
other. It's a different cannabis.
Is it a different spectrum of the cannabinoid, or is it synthetic?
I don't know
feel like it's
much
both.
about it, but I mean, I've consumed it a few times. I really like the gummies.
Yeah.
My girlfriend sells a lot of them out of.
What do you think?
on
What do you think about it?
Delta 8's a isolate. It's still from cannabis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
It's still cut down early before it gets too hot.
But it's hot enough though. Like it'll get you fucking. You'll feel it,
It's a different cannabinoid.
and you can fail piss test too from it.
Yeah, if you smoke enough of it.
You think
But
so?
honestly, if you think about,
I mean,
every-
it's too new for anyone to say, so they just
Yeah.
put on labels like could sell it. I feel
it's best to, I mean, just not have a job you have to pee for. Self-employ yourself, because honestly,
Right.
like, you
Fuck
can't
you,
rely
Jeff
on anybody.
Bezos.
You can't rely on anybody else to make your money except yourself.
Yeah,
End
no,
of
I'm,
story.
I'm not.
You know,
I'm not
it's-
worried about that.
And
So
you don't
you
have to
don't-
pee
you don't-
for yourself. That's big company. You have to.
You
pee
can hold
for.
it for me though,
Yeah.
if I can't do myself. So you don't think that's a threat?
It's
It's
different
pretty new.
markets.
It's
I
gonna
mean, my girlfriend's parents. Really
I mean,
like
not
the-
threat to you as your company, but like the CBD industry in general.
A little bit. I mean, the CBD industry has been so heavily.
It's flooded. It's
Yeah,
infatuated.
it's everybody's doing it, and that's another reason why I'm just doing my own thing. I have some homies that have been
I
making.
mean, you're not
like,
doing it like that's not your soul. You know,
Like one of my homies has been
business.
making like CBD seltzers, and they've been killing the game because all their
CBD
seltzers,
seltzers.
they're being sold
Yeah, like a drink,
at
right?
at a lot of bars.
I'm
Like if
hearing.
you want
Mhm.
some of
Sounds
this, if you want some of this CBD oil seltzer mixed with your cocktail,
Yeah,
like,
I've
you can
heard of
have
that.
CBD mixed
It's
with your
crazy.
cocktails. It's amazing.
yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah,
I
love
I mean,
that.
you even got right now. I
sounds
think it's
fire.
Indeed that has their own CBD seltzer. There's no beer in it, no alcohol,
Yep.
just CBD.
Yep.
And then there's
And it's pretty good too. I mean, they got different
Yeah.
flavors and shit.
I mean, there's a lot of really good seltzers out there. Which I mean, it's I like those myself. You know,
If I want to
it's-
drink water, I'll drink water.
yeah. I mean, it's
That's how I feel about seltzers. It's like it's either
Yeah.
water, IPA, or booch.
yeah,
Like,
it's soda water,
that's it.
White Claw.
basically. Yeah.
there's no room for that.
There's nothing better than getting
I want fizzy water.
having your own CBD, like tincture, and just as I consume my own cocktail, I'll put some drops in there and be like, okay,
Yeah, that is nice.
we got 50 milligrams in this cocktail. We got 50 milligrams in my coffee.
I
like
do it
every
in my
morning.
coffee. Yeah, it takes the edge off.
Every
a little
morning,
bit, for sure.
Little MCT oil, which is like essentially coconut oil mixed with CBD, and the coffee breaks down the acid content in the coffee, and it's.
Right.
You want
Yeah,
pause?
he does it all the time.
No, we're good.
Okay.
We're just gonna wrap it up here. I want to know where our listeners and followers can find you if they want to do a mushroom class, if they want to buy some shit like farmers market.
Soon
Yeah.
here, as of right now, you can go on Opie1 on Instagram or Facebook.
What do you mean pretty soon here?
I mean, right
is
now
your
you can
handle.
go on Opie1 on Facebook, OPIEWON on Facebook or Instagram, and hit me up directly on there. But soon here, I'm actually going to be using the same name from the hemp business I have, which I'm going to be doing On Point Mushroom Foraging.
Okay.
And
That's what it's gonna be called?
That's what I'm going to make the
That's
foraging
cool.
class.
Because you've been doing it for like 2 years now.
And last year was an introduction, so it was
Oh,
really
1 year.
cheap, and I was underselling myself, and I had some of these 6-person groups, and everybody had to be super spread apart.
I found Morel and he
It
got
was
super
really,
pissed.
really hard. Because
What?
everybody
Where'd
wants to
you
be
find
outside.
that?
Everybody
Yeah.
wants to go on these scavenger hunts. It's a blast to be out in the woods, not
It
just
is.
looking at trees and
Right.
birds. You're looking for
You're
like
looking for
fruiting
something
bodies.
specific.
He does a little
Yeah.
call in case
That's
you get
cool.
lost.
Like,
Yeah.
and it's
Super cute,
You know,
yeah.
it's it's
If you
important
hear it,
that
you're like, oh,
you know
shit, where is it?
that
Time to
everybody
go.
keeps their
Yeah.
distance from each other to stay safe. And I was charging $60 a head last year, and
I
this
thought it
year
was
it's going to be
30.
$100 a head because it's going
How
to be
many
a little
hours?
safer, and we go out for 4 hours.
Yeah, that's chill.
And I bring you to 3 different spots that I know
Mm.
I've found fruiting bodies at of the certain mushrooms we're looking for. So I typically teach classes on morels, black trumpets. We do porcinis, we do lobsters, we do lion's mane.
Are you gonna do anything
we do
off season,
oysters.
like guides maybe or something?
I mean, if we all
You're
want to
always
go,
outside.
if we all want to go to like
Always
Oregon
outside.
and find morels right now as we speak, they're
You're
popping
funny.
up all over the burn.
he'll do it
fields.
too.
Yeah.
Cool.
Like
Yeah, you'd be
we
like,
can even
"Let's go."
start. We can
Yeah, he
start. We
will.
can start in Spain and start picking.
He likes to go to
mushrooms once the borders start
Iowa
opening.
in like early April,
Yeah,
like
and stay
or
out
even
there
the
for like a
end.
week.
Yeah, that's cool.
Do some winter
Come back
camping,
with
wait for the
buckets full of morels.
first pop.
Handicap spots out there.
Yeah.
Just to say he was the first
The
one.
cool
to
thing
find
with
one.
Iowa, the reason I go down there specifically, I'm gonna drop some state. There's some parts of Iowa, Waterloo, Des Moines, around like Burlington.
Mhm.
Some of these people pull out like flatbed trucks of morels, and these morels are like
Dang.
mason jar sized.
Are you jealous?
Wow.
I've seen some of these
I would be.
patches. You can look underneath cottonwoods and you find a I'm talking a field of morels, and they're just. If you're meant to see them, they literally will make themselves visible. And once you see
once you see one, it's hard to
There's
unsee.
you see more, and they just if anything, they actually just start like popping underneath your feet, and you just end up stepping on it, and you're like, whoops, oh, okay, in the bag. It's, it's just making sure you have proper gear, and
There's a lot of
respecting,
tools and
you're
stuff
respecting
too.
the environment around you.
Yeah.
And just picking up
Well,
the
you don't like
trash
to
you
root
find.
it up.
And
You
there's
like
a
to-
bunch of different ways. That's a whole.
I know we know.
Foraging.
We gotta go right
if
now.
we had more time,
Yeah.
we can
Yeah.
get way in
got a
depth
lot
with
going
mushroom
on.
foraging.
Well, we might have to do like a next.
Yeah, let me know if you
episode
want to come
or
through and
whatever.
like showcase your shit. Like you can use my space. I'm gonna charge you $500 an hour.
Yeah.
Or
Or just drop me the link for the OnlyFans too. I know you have one when it comes to this mushroom shit. Everyone wants to see a mushroom.
Yeah.
Poking, all different sizes. We got the girth. We got the uncuts. Whatever you want. All right, man. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for
let
coming
me drop
out,
a couple
dude.
things. If you do
Yeah,
want
go
to
for
start
it.
buying mushrooms locally, look up R&R Cultivation.
Yeah.
It's awesome,
Okay.
awesome business, awesome mission. Not just that. If you want CBD, look up On Point CBD.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Perfect.
keep everything clean.
Perfect timing.
Yep.
But thank you for tuning
Thank you.
in.
One love, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.